Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's session. My name is Hennie Mynhardt. I'm the DB2 Tools and Engine Specialist for IBM, and I'd like to welcome you today for our session. Going to slide number 2. Disclaimer to release me from any promises or plans that can and may change. Now let's go to slide number 3. This is our agenda to today. Our session today will talk about DB2, and as you know, DB2 was made GA a couple of weeks ago, and today we're just going to cover how our tools and utilities support DB2. So we'll talk about the DB2, our DB2 admin solutions, our utility solutions, the DB2 performance solutions and our monitors, as well as our backup and recovery and cloning solutions. And then at the end, we will open it up for any questions and answers. Now let's go to slide number 4. On October the 21st, IBM announced general availability for DB2 12. Today, we also would like to share with you that our tools, as well as our utilities, support and exploit DB2. Our tools are fully integrated to provide you a seamless end-to-end support, whether that's on a performance, utilities, backup recovery. In addition, our enhanced accelerator functions will help you manage your accelerator, as you will see, and so much more. In addition to this too, we've put in a lot of automation to help you, the DBA, to manage your environment. If we go to the next slide. In this next section, I would like to share with you some of the highlights for our DB2 administration solutions. During this section, you will see what our administration tools and some of our utilities, how this can help you manage DB2. Let's go to the next slide, slide number 6. The IBM DB2 administration solutions help you today, and it's ready today to exploit DB2 12 and support all of the DB2 12 functionalities. When we think about advanced triggers, new built-in functions, enhancements to the new merge statements, the tools are there today. If you look at our list of tools, administration, to compare objects, to edit table data, to manage your server and client configurations, in addition to cloning tool. If you look at our administration tool, it's an integrated set of functions to help you manage DB2, and it's there today. We've also enhanced our accelerator support by providing a new badge interface in addition to what we've had in the past. Our object compare will now generate even more efficient workflows and help you simplify your application migrations. Our DB2 cloning tool is a unique tool to help you move data fast, and it can use both fast replication as well as other storage movers. These combined will help you to easily migrate and manage your provisioning if need be. Let's go to slide number 7. On slide number 7 is a list of functions that we support even further. If we look at the new temporal enhancements, an example is the new real-time stats history, temporal spaces, which will help you manage your automation of reorgs and maintenance jobs. We also support the new UTS, PBR, RPM object type, in addition to all the list of functions that are shown here. If we look at our tools integration tool, we are very proud to tell you that our tools are integrated. We've enhanced HPU functionality in admin tool to help you generate the right parameters to unload your data easier and more effectively. We've also updated our data server manager to now do admin tool gen and DDL type functions, as well as configuration manager. In addition, we've now integrated cloning tool into our admin solution to help you use that as a data mover. So all of this brings it together, and you can see where we are going. Let's go to slide number 8. In today's DB2 world, we have experienced DBAs with decades of experience and also newer DBAs. Our admin solution is designed to help you, the DBA, whether you're experienced or new to DB2, to really be more productive without thinking of how to do the next steps. So it's there to reduce the think time. We also want to help you exploit new DB2 12 capabilities from the get-go. And in addition to that, we also want to help you manage your IDAA. And we've provided a new batch interface to manage IDAA stored procedures. So think about this again. If you want to support and exploit new functions, the tool is there today to help you. It doesn't matter if you are new or not to DB2. If we go to the next slide, slide number 9. To further help you exploit and support DB2 12, we believe that we truly provide you with an integrated end-to-end DB2 tool. Our strategy again is not to allow you to use different tools, to jump in and out of different tools, but to truly bring you all this functionality within the same tool. If you want to convert from table control partitioning to newer types without an outage, the tool can help you there. We will support 10-byte RBA values on LRSN for page set conversions as well, easily within the tool. Further, we will, when you generate work lists, to add new columns, to alter the seg size, and so on, the tool will be there today to help you, and we will minimize the reorgs, and we will do that efficiently for you online. Let's go to the next slide. Slide number 10. As you load more and more tables into the Analytics Accelerator, we now provide you new menu options in Admin Tool to help you remove and add tables, to also detect if any tables have been accelerated and to do a reload or modified, and then also to the removal of drop tables. And you can see in this example, these are what the new options look like in the menu in DB2 Admin Tool. In addition, customers have asked us to execute accelerator functions in batch. So we think about to add or remove a new accelerator, to load data into the accelerator, to enable and disable that, and to also archive DB2 tables. This we provide to you today. Let's go to the next slide. On this slide, as part of the Analytics Accelerator support, we've also given you a lot of new line commands. So think about it. If you go to your accelerator, you're now able to ping, to do a handshake to the accelerator, to look at your trace files, to describe trace profiles, to save the trace data sets, and this we provide in addition to what you do today. Let's go to the next slide. Now we're going to focus on utility management as it relates to DB2. Next slide. Slide number 13. On this slide, I'm mentioning two utilities or tools to help you manage your utilities. The first one is DB2 Sort. DF Sort, as we know, is required for all DB2 utility sort processing. But we now provide also DB2 Sort, which helps you not just with your utilities, but also your tools. It's a sort that's optimized just for the DB2, and it can help you save CPU consumption by offloading even more. And it provides a high-speed, efficient sort processing over and above of that which DF Sort provides. And I'll show you on the next slide. We also, part of our utility solution, have high-performance unload. And this high-speed unload utility can also invoke DB2 Sort above. It supports migration from non-DB2 tools. If you come from another vendor, we will support the syntax. Also, this utility can read the DB2 underlying vSAN data sets so that we don't use online resources, and so on. Let's go to slide number 14. Slide number 14. This is just a slide to show you some figures that we've seen for a typical reorg when invoking DB2 Sort. We've seen that in addition to what you have today, we can reduce your sort CPU in your step by up to nearly 70% if you have a machine with ZIP engines. For the utility CPU, we've seen up to nearly 60% reduction, and of course the utility elapsed time, again with ZIP engines, more than 50%. We do this with new block level operations for variable length records, which we used to do for fixed records as well. Let's go to the next slide. Slide number 15. On this slide, I'd like to talk about the Utilities Enhancement Tool as well as Automation Tool. And again, both of these tools support DB2 12 functionality from day one. The Utilities Enhancement Tool. If you want to further extend your capabilities, on the utility side, let's assume that you get new maintenance on the utilities which we provide, but you don't have the time to update your utility syntax. This tool provides you to apply policies. You set up a policy, how you would like, for example, load or reorg to run at runtime, and this policy will control how that is executed. Also, it's the ability to cancel and block threads on your utility jobs. In addition to that, you can monitor return codes on your utilities and help that as well. So it's a great tool. If you think about automation tool, part of automation today, as I mentioned earlier slides, is that we have experienced and non-experienced DB2 DBAs. We would like you to run your utilities more efficient, of course, but we would also like to run them with best practices and based on exception. So part of automation tool for DB2 12 is we support all the new run stats enhancements, the proper generation of the mapping tables for range partition table spaces, and new exceptions. Part of the automation is to run utilities by exception, and we provide more than 200. If you look at the exception to detect if an index has been altered, we can do this for compression. We'll allow you to generate a reorg for materialization. These are just some of the functions that we provide for the automation tool. And together with these two tools, it will really help you run the utility only when it's required and on the most efficient way. Slide number 16. If we think about our automation today, what do we want to automate? It's maintenance. We want to make sure that when we run a reorg, it's really necessary. And when we do run a reorg, that we get benefits of the reorg. We do not want to run the reorg based on a schedule anymore like we used to do in the past. So it's truly by exception. The same with run stats. Run stats may or may not be efficient, but how do we know if we collect the right run stats? Same with backups. Backups may be scheduled, but if you can run that more efficiently based on some updates, that'll make a lot more sense. So again, through automation tool, we can reduce the number of reorgs that you run, and we can also help you get the benefits thereof. If we look at the utility enhancements in DB2 12, this is a customer quote. They were saying we were the requester for most of the new utility enhancements, and we're very satisfied with DB2 12 delivery of those enhancements. The same with our tools. Automation tool is there today to help you support that out of the box. Let's go to the next slide. Slide number 17. The utilities are critical and important for our customers today for early testing of new versions, as well as when you migrate. We found that the beta customers, this was not a nice to have, but it's something critical, and they needed day one support. And also by providing ongoing DB2 maintenance, it requires the utilities to respond quickly and accurately. When something changes in DB2, the utilities are there today. We also want to help you reduce your system resources. Each release of DB2 Utilities delivers significant savings in CPU and other resources. And as you can see on the slide, we offload more and more to zip. It also requires a need to support performance and admin tasks that require no application outage. So not only do we save you resources, CPU time, and so on, but we also want to help you reduce that downtime. Removing constraints and limitations. As the size and complexity of your DB2 databases grows, so does the need to simplify database management. And we want to remove that scalability constraints to help you support the growth of your business. So again, simplifying data management. As new features are added to the engine, the utilities need to be there from day one. We cannot run behind, and we have to remove the complexity. If you look at this slide too, some of the examples, for example, improve flash copy support. Some of you may use flash copy for flash copy image copy support, or you maybe do system level backups. We now provide DF-SMS copy pool support for system level backups and messaging and a lot new messaging. We also help you with dataset templates to help support DF-SMS management and store class to manage those datasets efficiently. If we look at this quote from this bank during our beta customer, says IBM DB2 Utilities zip offload percentage of DB2 12 CPU is much higher than in DB2 11. So this shows you that our strategy is right and we want to help you. Reorg avoidance. You don't have to do it if you can get an immediate increase of the partition dataset size with a relative page number, page set, that is there today. Unload, load, replace, and so on. Let's go to the next slide. Slide number 18. Our strategy again for automation is to do self-management. If you look at the chart at the bottom, today when you do a rebind, a bind, or a prepare, that information is fed to the optimizer, who in turn will update the stats profile, as we know. Automation tool today can read the stats profile and build the correct run stats syntax to feed into the bind and rebind again. So all this works together. When you bind, rebind, the optimizer gets the information, it updates the stats profile. Automation tool can then use that information to build the right syntax. If we look at this again, managing statistics in DB2 we will directly update the stats profiles. The optimizer will benefit. We will generate the DDL. A customer shared with us that the use of profile in run stats fulfilled a long-standing requirement. We can now use profiles for inline stats. If there's no profile, defaults are automatically taken. And the optimizer recommended that we enhance so that the profile is automatically built and maintained. And that's something that will help you. Let's go to the next slide. On slide 19, I would like to tell you more about the profiles as we provide them in the Utilities Enhancement tool. Today, we provide you profiles and policies. If you look at Utility Enhancement, a profile is to centrally control your syntax, is to permit certain utilities from running without standards, if, for example, lock, load, no. It also can prevent some utilities from running with certain syntax, and then also to correct those as well. So these are profiles that you can set up for that syntax, and then there are the policies. So by this we mean take back control of your utility execution. Apply best practices at runtime. You don't have the time to go and alter and fix your utility syntax as you go from version to version. So this is where we provide more extension with our part of our utility solution. And again, when you do return code changes, when you do a check index or load resume for an empty table, you can do that now with the utility interception with Utility Enhancement tool. We also provide with Utility Enhancement tool a pre-sort. So if you load and the data is already sorted in cluster order, we can tell the load utility or the phase not to sort it again, or we can do the pre-sort before you actually do the load. These are things that we provide in addition to the utilities today. Let's go to the next slide. On this slide, I'd just like to tell you about the extension of our functions again. Faster utility performance, better availability through all the solutions that I've shown you. To reduce CPU and more offload. This has been our strategy, and this is what we continue not just to deliver on DB2 but with ongoing maintenance. Reduce your utility failures due to sort capacity exceeded. We provide this with DB2 Sort today, and it's there available today for all versions of DB2. A faster unload using high performance unload to help you reduce CPU cost and to also help you with a full SQL interface. By this I mean if you want to do complex joins with high performance unload, that's available to you today. History table management, again, if you want to extend the autonomics, we now provide you with the ability to record utility history, which you go and mine. And we use that to actually size and determine maintenance windows and so on, which you'll see in the next slide. Let's go to the next slide. Slide 21. Today, customers have fast replication or flash copy available, and in our utilities, we would like to exploit those. And back in DB2 version 8, which was a long time ago, we started to exploit flash copy or fast replication technology with a backup system, restore system, backup methods, which is volume-based. We also, back in version 8, if you have flash copy available, you can do check index share level change on a dataset level. In DB2 9, we further expanded the use of flash copy by allowing you to recover from a volume-based system level backup as input. In addition to that, we extended flash copy usage for check data share level change and also for check log share level change. In addition, in DB2 10, we provided you with dataset flash copy for your table space, and as well we supported that with inline copies when you do an inline copy for reorg table space, when you do a reorg index or reorg build index as well. In DB2 12, we expanded the support now. We now provide you with multiple DFSMS copy pool support to support for system level backups with additional mapping. We've improved the flash copy handling in DB2 reorg, which I will show you, and then also we've provided new template updates to support DFSMS constructs like management class and storage class. Let's go to the next slide. In the next couple of slides, I would like to bring your attention to our Autonomics strategy. This is not new, but just to do a refresh, and as far as DB2 12 is concerned, we are moving ahead and you'll see what we do. Why are we doing this? Today, as mentioned before, you have experienced and less experienced DBAs, and you have to do maybe a lot of manual work to collect performance data, utility data, whatever it may be, and you have to analyze the data. Then you have to make some decision based on the data to do, for example, determine when do I need to do a reorg, can my reorg fit into a specific maintenance window, and then decide how and when you want to execute that. So what we want to do at IBM is to provide a graphical interface to help you manage your maintenance, and not just your maintenance, but everything regarding maintenance, performance, and so on. So today we provide you with real-time stats history, utility history, DB2 catalog, a view, and so on from our new strategy, as you will see. So let's go to the next slide. So our objectives on slide number 23. We want to help you gain a centralized view to help you manage your profiles, to also provide additional value to your 30-70 interface, and to help you manage what we can say a passive and an active environment. There are objects in your shop today that are updated a lot. Some are more static. And if we can help you schedule and maintain and have a visible view into your DB2 objects, then this is what we want to do. And today we can do that via Data Server Manager to help you integrate that. We've got Query Workload Tuner to provide you with a lot of information, our performance tools like OMEGAMON, and non-utility actions as SMS text and the right to operate messaging and so on. So again, we want to bring this together for you, whether it's automation tool, your performance tools, and so on, to help you, not just help you manage and view your maintenance as far as reorgs and so on is concerned, but also your performance information. Let's go to the next slide. Slide number 24. Part of our Autonomics strategy is to help you centralize your maintenance and as well as your performance. So now we can, based on utility history, real-time stats history, help you identify symptoms where we will identify with automation tool profiles which objects need maintenance or need to fix based on whatever the symptom may be. We will then prescribe an action with a priority to fix that symptoms. And then if you want us to, and optionally have the Autonomics director to resolve those symptoms. For example, if we determine that a table space needs to be reorged, we will then advise you via an action to reorg that, and we can actually run it if you want us to be. So all this we want to do via the management console DSM interface. Let's go to the next slide. On this slide, it means, just want to let you know, to summarize again, we want to take Autonomics, putting all that operation back into DSM, where you can do the analysis across the enterprise for one-to-many DB2s. We will do the analysis for you. It's part of that think time again. We've got all the information. We will then feed that into engines like Spark if you want to, and we can then make the actions and make the decisions based upon history and the information that's readily available to us. Let's go to the next slide. On this slide, on slide number 26, it's just to let you know a conceptual overview of how we use the utility solutions today. Today, if you've got DB2, you've got the metadata, we've got the automation tool profiles, we've got alerts, actions, and a calendar. We will then go look at DB2 and all these information, and we will actually alert you when something needs attention. We will then prescribe an action, and we will then, if you want us to fix that action and actually run it, and we will go look at the maintenance window. If you look at the Autonomics director on the right, we will look at the maintenance window. We know how long a reorg will run. We know when it can run, so based on the window, we will go and look at the maintenance window and prescribe a window for you, and you can let us run either using the DB2 admin scheduler or your scheduler. Next slide. Slide 27. Today, when DBAs make decisions when to reorg, how often to reorg, to decide maintenance windows, how long does a reorg take place, what do we rely on? We look at the DB2 catalog, we may look at real-time stats, we may look at some other homegrown programs, but we bring this all together for you in the management console. And this is just an example of what it looks like. We've got the DB2 catalog, which we can visualize for you. Based on our automation tool interface, we can provide you the symptoms and the actions. We can also show you utility history and real-time stats history. And this we can all bring together in one view to visualize and help you. And then also, if you want us to invoke the Autonomics director to run the maintenance on your behalf. And we believe with this approach, this is where we're going with our self-managing strategy. So let's move on to the next slide. In this next section, I'm going to cover our performance solutions and how it relates to the DB2 12. Next slide. Slide number 29. IBM provides a rich portfolio to manage your performance. We provide OMEGAMON. We provide SQL, DB2 Query Monitor and SQL PA, as well as Query Workload Tuner. These tools provide you to a full range to do end-to-end monitoring. Let's look at the OMEGAMON. OMEGAMON provides you today as threat monitoring. It's an integrated real-time monitor, as you know, and it supports all of the DB2 new if kits and collection for DB2 12. In addition to all the things that we've provided for so long, we've got an SQL dashboard with static and dynamic SQL and stored procedure monitoring, and through end-to-end SQL monitoring with extended insight. As you know, we can now determine where the bottlenecks are in your server, in your network, or your app, or DB2 as well. We've got a dedicated SQL monitor, Query Monitor, and this is a tool that you can use to do dedicated SQL performance tuning and recommendation, and it integrates, all of these tools integrate with one another with SQL PA, Data Studio DSM, and Query Workload Tuner. In addition, we provide Data Server Manager interface for our Query Workload Tuner, and we've got an SQL Performance Analyzer. All of these tools help you manage through end-to-end. We've given you performance needs, and we can actually help you rewrite the query, as we'll see in the next couple of slides. Next slide. Today, if you look at a performance issue, when the phone rings or it's proactive, where do we start? Typically, the production DBA or the systems programmer may log on to OMPE. The DB2 person may prefer Query Monitors. Whatever it may be, the performance issues vary greatly, and it's important that when you look at the tooling, that these tools are integrated so that you can identify, diagnose, and solve the problem seamlessly. The integration that we're showing you today works, and it's there today, and we support DB2 12. So I think if you think again, if you enable, when you launch the tools, whether you launch it through ISPF or the UI interfaces to look at the tuning links, or you look at the wizards, we want this to work together seamlessly and integrated. And this is what we provide with a DB2 Performance solution. So we can pull the queries from DB2 Query Monitor into SQL PA to analyze the query statements. We can click on, we can be in OMEGAMON, and we can click down there to actually look at the tuning button, and we can launch Query Workload Tuner, whether it's from OMEGAMON or Query Monitor. So again, if you look at our tools and our strategy today, we want to help you, and we want to help you tune. Not just do we want to help you identify the problem, but maybe in the case of a bad written query, help you to rewrite the query. So we provide advisors to help you with query design, stats quality, and index as well. So based on these, we believe our tools, in conjunction with the DB2 Auto Stats feature, create something that you can use today. And as I mentioned, we support DB2 11. We simplify the collection of DB2 12 structured changes as well. Let's go to the next slide. On slide 31, it's just to let you know about OMEGAMON, OMPE. OMPE was relied upon by the development team. Also during the beta testing for DB2 12, OMPE was used by the beta customers to measure before and after, and even during their migration efforts. So this is the tool that not just our development use, our beta customers, but it's truly there, and it had to support DB2 12 from day one. OMPE also supports buffer pool simulation enhancements, in addition with query workload support for DSN stats feedback tables. And again, if we look at our solution, again, as I mentioned, the integration, query monitor, literal stripping, and all of that helps our beta customers who will help you with DB2 today. So this was a large retail bank to say this was our first time using OMEGAMON reports, and I was very glad with the capabilities. Let's go to the next slide. OMPE today provides you ability to extract the performance data into a CSV spreadsheet. So when you think about going from version 11 to DB2 12, you will now have the ability to look at a detailed worksheet to before and after, and you can look at the integrated data in your DB2 11 and 12 execution times and compare that seamlessly. And this is what we provide with DB2 12 today. Let's go to the next slide. On slide number 33 is to show you about our performance solution and how we extend the DB2 support even more. We now support DB2 12 accelerated queries and workloads that we can monitor through Query Monitor and OMPE, and we provide you in Query Monitor Accelerator advisors to provide you advice on your query acceleration, which queries are eligible for acceleration, and what will the benefits be and the cost savings. In addition to that, we provide you with performance data. In this example, a large bank that was storing a 15 billion row in the accelerator. They saw that with compression, it was greater than 50%, and without these tools, they would not have been able to look at the improvements as well. If we go to the next slide, on slide 34, I just want to show you with extending the DB2 functions. When DB2 12 was announced GA, we were ready on day one. So we can provide you with complete performance management and insight, performance thresholds, SQL workload tuning, index advice, integration between our tools, and query workload support for DSN stats feedback. It's there today. We go to the next slide. On this slide is to show you the capabilities. On this slide, we can see, if I look at extending the features and our integration. It's another example. So on the top left, we've got OMEGAMON Extended Insight, which can feed into Query Monitor, we can also look at DSM as well with Query Workload Tuner, the DSM interface. So again, it's a contextual launch of DSM from Query Monitor. So if I'm in Query Monitor and I tune, I can launch Query Workload Tuner on the DSM technology. Let's go to the next slide. This is an example how we can use Query Monitor to collect host variables. So when you use this feature, DB2 Query Monitor collects a fixed size representative sample of all the host variables during the sample interval. This allows you to find the most commonly used host variables and to better understand your application performance. So you can use this host variable information to further tune your SQL queries. In the case of stripped SQL text, the staging table will contain the first unstripped SQL text, even although the sampling is performed on all of them, right? So if you look at the SQL collect host bars, the pop-up will help you to enable you to configure how host variable information is captured. The pop-up then is accessible if you are in the perspective in the tool. So this is just to show you how we can do that quickly and efficiently. Let's go to the next slide. On slide 37, it will just show you how you can manage your workload. You can access collected host variable samples through the Manage Workload dialog, where you can retrieve what has been collected so far and remove any samples that you no longer need. Just another example. Let's go to the next slide. And this slide, in slide 38, I just want to show you by using the staging tables workload viewer. This feature, in conjunction with the host variable selector feature, allows you to identify the values that are most commonly used for SQL statements. So by doing this, again, you can either go to IBM DSM or the query workload tune. Again, this is to show you how the tools are integrated, and it will not just help you understand your workload, but also from the text statements, but those ones who actually are used during the execution of this application. Let's go to the next slide. OMPE or OMEGAMON for DB2 PE is a performance analysis, monitoring, and tuning tool for DB2 environments. OMPE for DB2 simplifies and supports your DB2 and application programs. And as well, it can help you with trend analysis, reporting, chargeback usage, and buffer pool analysis. If problems are encountered, you are notified. You can be notified or advised how to continue. So key performance indicators are displayed in DSM. And the reason I'm showing this is to show you how the tools are integrated again with Data Server Manager. So with 24 access to these host KPIs, you no longer have to rely on manual processes. So again, in this example, it will show you how we've integrated OMEGAMON into DSM as well. Next slide. We will now look at our backup and recovery solutions and how it supports DB2 12. Let's go to slide number 41. Slide number 41. On this slide, I want to show you for DB2 12 and before how our tools and utilities are integrated and how we exploit storage integration. As we know, our DB2 backup system, restore system, flash copy, image copy, and recovery utilities, which as part of the utility suite can interact with DFSMS. And if we look at ZIOS, whether we use HSM for volume-based functions or DFSMS DSS for dataset type functions, that integrates with the storage subsystem into the IBM disk storage, whether we use flash copy, mirroring, and XRC, PPRC, that's all available to you today. In addition, our tooling are now integrated as well. And we have our DB2 cloning tool, which can integrate with storage subsystems as well as our utilities. We've got Recovery Expert, and we also have our DB2 log analysis tool. Some of those functions are integrated in our recovery solution as well. Let's go to the next slide. DB2 Recovery Expert. DB2 Recovery Expert today with DB2 12, it's tight integrated with the IBM Recovery Utility, as well as the backup and restore system utilities as well. It's got a more efficient point-in-time recoveries by skipping unchanged objects. So if you're going to recover and there are objects that has not been touched or updated, we will skip them, making your recovery quicker and more efficient. In addition, we support enhanced preserve mirror options as well, and we provide additional support to help you support remote replication for DR. So again, this tool supports flash copy, IBM and non-IBM as well, and is integrated in our recovery utility. So again, it's there. We provide alternate support for copy pools as well. So all the new features and functions that were integrated in DB2 12 as part of the recovery utilities for DFSMS copy pools and so on, it can be exploited by the tool. DB2 cloning tool, it's a unique IBM tool where it can help you efficient to cloning of DB2 applications or even a DB2 subsystem by selecting and grouping of objects. So we can move data very quickly, and as we've heard before, you can launch it from DB2 Admin tool if need be, and we will support flash copy, system level backup, space efficient, all of those flavors of flash copy as well. And we will run in the data sharing or non-data sharing. If we go to the next slide, slide 43. So again, for DB2 we will support all the recovery options, including backout, yes, which has been around in DB2 We provide full support for system level backup. And we can also help you restore system lock only with a VCAT name translation if you need be. And we provide full 10-byte lock RBA LRSN support today. In addition, we provide you with redirected recovery, where if you take a backup of table space A and you want to restore to table space B, we provide that. Has been around. And part of our strength of this tool is surgical recovery. You can now have the ability to recover objects that are related to a plan or a package or whatever filter criteria you want to use. Let's go to the next slide. On slide 42, just talking about Recovery Expert again, we can do full point-in-time recovery avoidance. So if you go to a specific point in time, we will determine, as I mentioned, if pages have been unchanged or not, or the rows in that page, and we have provided as well coordinated recovery between IMS and DB2. All of this support all the new DB2 12 functions as well. We can manage your DB2 system level backup setup. As you know, when you think about implementing backup system, restore system, there's a lot of tasks that you have to do outside of DB2 to make sure that your storage setup is correct, your ICF catalog structures are set up properly. This tool will help you with that. And we can also prioritize objects in a mass recovery. So you can decide, when I do a mass recovery, how do I want to prioritize my objects on a recovery, based on size or based on number of updates. We will incorporate a full range of recovery options, including threat level recovery through log analysis features, which is built into Recovery Expert. We also provide native support for non-IBM Fast Replication solutions. So if you have EMC or Hitachi storage technology, we will support you and help you over there. Our next slide, on slide 45. So what makes Recovery Expert so unique? We've got drop object recovery, and this is not just where we can get the data back for you, but we will restore the data, do all the authorizations for you, and including also the rebinds. I think that's very important. So we'll help you. So point-in-time recovery too. We will do the recovery before, if you have to do an alter schema change, and you know as you materialize the change via an online reorg, you are not able to recover to a prior point for that object, right? So we will allow you to recover prior to you materializing the changes via reorg. We can do redirected restore, as I mentioned, to recover to a different target. And we can also unload a table from the system level backup source. So clone systems as well, we can recover data sharing or non-data sharing and vice versa. And it doesn't matter, your mirroring as well. So think about it again. We can clone your catalog and directory. And this is something that one of the beta customers were concerning, where if you want to test your migration for DB2, you can clone your catalog and directory, and we will handle all the OBID translation for you, so you can run your catalog updates for your migration on your cloned catalog and directory. On the next slide, this is just to wrap up today's session, and I want to thank you, and I want to tell you that our tools and utilities are key for the exploitation of DB2 12 today. It's ready today, it's there today, and the integration is there. We continue on DB2 to focus on the management of DB2 via our tools and utilities. We cannot afford to run late. Customers expect us, when we announce DB2 as GA, that we support that, right? Our new solutions are there to support you, and as you've seen throughout this presentation, I wanted to share with you the true integration of all our solutions so that you can easily and efficiently manage your DB2. Whether you are experienced DBA or somebody new as well. Our tools are there for now and the future. We do a lot of enhancements in DB2 Sometimes we retrofit those, especially in the utilities, to earlier versions of DB2, and our tools will be there to support that again. So our utilities extend above and beyond just the management of DB2. We cannot afford to run late, and we want to ensure that you can use that today and in the future. And I want to thank you today for your time. Any questions? Thanks again for spending the time with us today. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for attending our call today. My name is Colleen Janisic. I'm the marketing manager for the DB2 Tools and Utilities. And we do have our expert speaker on the line. So you have some time if you would like to enter a question for him in the window. If you type it in, we'll be happy to go through it. We did have a question asking about a copy of the presentation. And for all of you who are interested, that's on the right-hand side of the screen in the resources section. We also had a question on the percentage of reduction that we showed on the DB2 sort improvement, and that one I will respond offline. We showed it just for zip, but yes, we have those other ones. I also wanted to let you know that this was meant to provide an overview of the tool support. We'll be covering in detail, like for example, we have a webcast on February 7th that will cover the details of OMPE support with DB2 12 as well as other new enhancements. We'll be doing something similar for the utilities later in February and through the first and second quarter of 2017. As Hennie did say, well, we actually announced on October 4th, we were announcing at the same time as DB2 12, and we GA'd most of our products on October 21st. Some of them are GAing when they come together in the solution packs on December 9th. Hennie, do you want to take some of the other questions?
Sure, I have a question here. One question is, you have the percentage reduction numbers without the zip engine. Part of this presentation I only showed the new reorg enhancement for sort, or sort for reorg with variable length blocking. And we will send you the without zip, but typically there are three items we look at: the sort CPU, utility CPU, and utility elapsed time with and without zip. Typically, the sort CPU with zip, on average, we get 84%, and without zip, it's in the low 50s. For the utility CPU, it's 60% with zip on average for all the utilities, and without zip, it's 40%. And then typically for the elapsed time, it's up to 45% with the zip engine, elapsed time savings, and up to 46% without zip. So that's typically what we've seen so far. And then there's another question. Is the tools-based admin console free of cost? So I hope you're referring to the management console. You can email me. That is no charge that you can download, and that provides you today with the catalog, navigation, and as well as the real-time stats history if you're in DB2 11 and even 12.
There's one thing that I can add to that, Hennie, is that the tools base in this release that just went out has a separate PID. So customers will need to order the tools base as a separate PID. That's slightly different than the last time they did tools base.
Great.
It's still free of charge, of course.
Yeah. There's another question. Will the admin tool compare be able to add a table to the accelerator and enable replication along with the acceleration? That is not there as far as I know. I can just check for you, but I do not think so. You still have to do that via the Data Studio plugin.
Yeah, we don't have any of the admin people on the line, but we can check on that and get an answer back to you via email. So thank you. Something else. You want to ask the next one about the DB2 12 utilities ready? Are they downward compatible? You want to answer that one, Hennie?
Yeah. All our DB2 utilities are downward compatible, so when you go to DB2 12 and you still run DB2 11, it should be compatible.
We still have a couple. If you get a question in, we still have a minute to answer that. And I don't see any other questions, Hennie. Did you have any other final comments that you want to say to our audience? Thank you for attending. And anything else, Hennie?
Oh, yeah. Thank you for your time and attending this morning. Please email me if you have additional questions. And as Cal mentioned, we're going to have more webinars focusing, some of the tools more in depth coming.
Thank you all. We'll let you enjoy the rest of your day. We appreciate your attendance.